Walking through this life of mine, well, it's teaching me so many things, like how to love and how to lose and how to choose. Walking through this.
My name's Ted. Doing the windows today.
What are you doing to the windows?
Cleaning.
You clean with what?
I don't know what they call it.
Rubber and alcohol.
Rubber and alcohol.
Oh, you gotta do that one.
Oh, I did.
Or you gotta do it again. Now, how come you're rubbing with rubber and alcohol with that?
So it stick.
So that the
Windows is stick.
adhesive from the window kit will stick?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So is this something you like, Ted? You like helping out doing this?
Yeah.
Yeah? So I hear you're thinking about volunteering to do this, some of this stuff? Yeah? So you're learning a lot from Diane?
Yeah. Learn for Diane.
And she's going to be coming in to show us how to do the rubber stuff here. She's going to show Ted. Ted's been doing the living room, and they're doing the kitchen right now. So, by the way, this is Linda Carbonell from Walking Through Life TV show. So today we've got home cover repair coming in to help Ted and I use some weatherization in the house here. So Diane's going to be coming in a minute to help us put the rubber lining in so that she can put snap-in plastic so that the window will be covered with plastic. So that's what we're going to be doing next.
I'm Diane Reinhardt. I work for Cover Home Repair. During the winter season, we run a weatherization program. We focus mostly on air infiltration. You lose a lot of heat, which means you spend a lot more money on your heat if you have drafty windows and doors. So we air seal a lot of windows and doors.
And you've got a helper.
Yes.
Now who's this?
This is Ray.
Ray.
Ray put us on it.
There you go. See, now you got his name. See? He's really in trouble now.
That's a kind of a fun name to say too.
So he's going to help. But so you want to
I would do
Not in here.
that.
do you want to walk us through it, Diane, too, or what he's doing?
All right, I would go follow that. So the first thing when you are going to put up these interior, we call them interior storm windows. They're a reusable 4mm clear vinyl window. Is you got to figure out where in the window you want to go.
But the best bet probably is away from the windowsill itself, so over on the...
Well,
paneling
what
part,
I'm
right?
looking for is a nice flat place.
Yeah.
Because these are held down with an adhesive. You want to give the adhesive the best chance possible, and so if you pick a nice flat spot.
Yep.
And then actually what has happened that you didn't see is the first thing that you want to do is clean the surface.
Oh, we
And-
got Ted doing that.
Yes, so
Ted actually.
okay, so
Yeah, we did get him doing that.
you saw Ted.
With the rubbing alcohol. Yeah.
Not for consumption.
Yeah. Yeah.
You clean the surface that you've with rubbing alcohol, because if you don't clean the surfaces, if there's any dust or just accumulated life on the windowsill, the adhesive will stick to that instead of to the paint, and then it's more likely to come off.
So what Ray's got there is the adhesive, right? And you just peel the back off that?
Yep. So this is there are two pieces to this kit. There's kind of what we call the channel. It has a little U-shaped channel, right? And then a cord, right? And this is the cord. And if you look at the cord, and the cord snaps into the channel.
Oh, cool.
So it's like a Ziploc bag,
Yeah.
right? Although when this, so you put up the channel,
Mm-hmm.
and then you stretch the plastic across, and then you snap in the cord.
Nice.
And come springtime, when you want to take your plastic down, you pull the cord off, remove the plastic, and then you can snap the cord back into that channel for storage.
Right, so you don't have to lose them.
So you don't have to use them. And then You get to reuse them again next winter.
Yeah, they just stay on your window the whole time?
Yep.
Yeah, you don't have to take them off.
Nope.
No, yeah. So some of the tools that you need to do this are, I saw a hammer, I saw cutters.
Yep. So you need. I've done this at home, and if you have like a heavy duty pair of scissors, will work. One of the things that is really nice is that it is pretty low intensive on tools.
Yep.
So you need a cutter.
And cutter.
You need rubbing alcohol. You need a rag.
Yeah. That might be helpful.
And then it's helpful to have a sheetrock knife.
Yeah, for the plastic.
Although the plastic will cut like if you have a pair of scissors, if you've ever used scissors where you do the little cut and then you can run it with the fabric,
Yeah.
the plastic will do the same thing.
Okay.
You make a little cut with the scissors and then just run it with the plastic.
Mm-hmm. And then you need a hammer for in case you have little spots. Ooh.
Sometimes
Thank you.
what Linda's talking about is that if there's a place where it's looking like maybe the adhesive isn't sticking well, we can take a stapler and put a couple of staples in that, and then you just knock it, make sure you hit it with a hammer a couple of times to make sure that it is set all the way.
Yeah, that's it. So you said something about the little pieces.
Yeah.
There's little pieces that can be more unsecure than the other,
Right.
the bigger ones.
And so one of the things that, depending on window size, the channel pieces all come one length.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to sort of cut them to fit.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you'll end up with the channel. So you see, Ray ended up with a piece that's about 3 to 4 inches long.
Yeah.
That's a good length.
I
Right.
cut it actually a little shorter, to tell you the truth,
Oh, okay.
so we wouldn't have to staple it.
Okay. Well, okay. So what happened? So this would have ended there.
Mm-hmm.
And so what Ray did is he cut this back, right, so that a longer piece would fit in there.
Yeah, so you don't have to staple that.
Right, so you don't have to staple it. So a little piece like this isn't going to stick very well.
Right.
But if you end up with a little piece like this, you can staple it with a stapler.
gun.
But it's usually better if you cut it back and then put a longer piece in.
It saves from having to, destroy your sill and
Yeah.
I want
things
to
like
talk
that.
to the camera, right? 'Cause they won't get the video.
Sorry.
What did you say?
I said it saves from having to destroy your windowsill.
Yeah, with the staples.
Yes, with the staples or with nails or whatever you had to put it,
Yeah.
tack it together.
By having a longer piece, it means that you can't. So one of the other things that we usually do is make sure that
The windows
if the
closed.
window's closed, to close and lock them.
That way you know they're secure, right?
Well, you know they're secure, and we might as well use the weatherization of the window to its best possible
Right.
place.
So this is nice. We got 2 extra helpers today, Ted and Ray.
Yeah. Cover is a local nonprofit that's out of White River Junction, and we do most of the work that we do with volunteer help. Each of the jobs with the weatherization has sort of a qualified staff person on board. That's me this time. And then on the home repair, we have sort of basically cover contractors that lead the work, but most of the volunteers show up never having
Known anything, huh?
never having done any construction, and they're sort of taught on the job, and the work gets done, and the volunteers leave having
Sense of purpose or
generally done some
Worthy.
good work
Yeah.
and learn some skills.
yeah, absolutely, and feel good about yourself or
Yep.
for helping somebody out.
Yep, and often homeowners, we like to work as much as we can with homeowners to the extent that they're capable.
Knowledgeable, yeah.
Yep. And so that the homeowners can also, invest in their own home and learn some skills along the way. And make some friends.
Yeah, make some friends, and then
make some friends.
And I want to say too,
Yeah.
like Ted, when he was doing this too, that's the first thing that came to his mind was, wow, I'd like to help out, you know, volunteer.
Yep.
So I think it's a good feeling for you, Jen,
Yeah.
to know that you can help somebody out by doing what you learned here today.
Yeah.
I gotta get out of the camera shot here. Is that a good feeling for you?
It is.
It is, yeah.
It's good work, you know.
Help people out, you know.
Helps people out, and then one of the Cover's mission is about fostering hope and building community. And so it's a way of, in terms of myself and volunteers and homeowners, sort of ending up in a position and interacting and building together in their normal course of lives wouldn't happen. So, and I've always kind of liked the venue of having a work project to do and work with someone, because it's a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
And also just be able to blatantly help out the community that can't either afford it or just don't have the time or knowledge on how to do this. And actually today is my first time, and she also taught me how to do it, you know, so I mean, if she can teach me how to do it, I'm pretty sure she can teach anybody out there how to do it.
Yeah.
And that's the best part. It's not that hard, and especially the Cover, they're here to help. And anybody that's really in need, please make sure you call Cover and tell them your story, tell them what you need. We're here for you. You know, it's going to be a cold winter.
Yeah.
You know, and this is just the start of what they do. They do a lot more stuff through the summer. You know, plenty of people need help. You know, feel free to call.
Or if, you know, either if you have work that you need on your home, or if you want to volunteer, or both.
Yeah, or both. That's it.
Or both. So, so Ray has finished putting the track around the window. And one of the things that we learned from a couple of years ago with the AmeriCorps member Molly Luft is that if you wax the channel, the cord snaps in much easier.
Yep.
And you just simply run it up and down. Not too much, you know, but just enough to make it so it's a little slick, easier to apply. Upon doing it, you realize this is, you know, a great technique. Do enough of these. As she was saying, you do enough of these, and
you do
your
enough of these,
fingers
and
can
your
actually
thumbs
start.
swell up like mine.
It seems easy enough, but you know, anybody, like we said, can do it.
Yep.
A little bit of extra help always helps.
Yeah, Ray's gonna use his hands, but one of the things that if you're I have some arthritis in my hands, or if you just don't have the hand strength, that's what hammers are for. You can just tap it in.
Yep. Would you like to give me a hand? Open it.
So Cover has two window kit sizes available, 38 by 64 and 50 by 80. And you basically, if you have windows, they work on a window up to that size. And if you have a window that's smaller, they basically, you fit it to the size. You cut it to size.
Right, so if it's like this size, if you want a littler window for like the doors,
Yep.
then you would cut that down.
Yep, you just cut it down.
Got it. Ooh, Dominic, you helping?
And this is pretty heavy duty
Hey,
plastic.
Bo. Hey, Boo. Yeah, that is heavy duty plastic.
Yeah, it's a 4mm vinyl.
So, go ahead. You want to explain?
All right.
How I line it up?
All right. So, I'm not sure if you can see this on the camera, but you know, you basically.
You might be able to like mark it or point to it where the end is.
So you know, I usually try and have at least on one side. We're going to end up cutting this down, but you want to try and hang the plastic more or less straight down. I find it easier to sort of attach the top first.
Yep.
And then
Square it up as best as possible.
Yep.
Good thing is you do have, most of them you do have access, so you do have a little bit of play.
Yep. And so,
actually I think I'm going to use your hammer.
Lock out.
A little bit taller than our hammer.
yep.
Lock out.
And it's just
Oh yeah, also, if you're not tall enough, you could use a step ladder, right? You've got one.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, a little.
So if you're
Step ladder or
if you're like
step
really short, you could get up
Like
there.
me.
Yeah.
Don't like me.
So you put the cord in, and then you tap it to where you're almost at the end, so that you can sort of see where you need to cut it for length, and then you put it in. It's
That's it.
That's sealed.
That's it.
so I normally put the top in first, and then I put the bottom in.
And I know it's hard to see right here, but as I put the top in, it's not completely square. But what the dimensions give you is extra.
Yep.
So this way, you know, you don't have to fight it. You know? So now, even though it's not square, we still have plenty of room on either side that you don't have to make sure it's completely perfect.
Yep.
And at the end, as long as you keep it, you know, tight throughout the process, you'll be fine. You'll have plenty of slack. So now we're gonna do the bottom.
You guys make that look easy.
That's what hammers are for.
Yeah.
And the wax definitely helps a lot.
Oh, it does. I can
Oh
try.
yes, but I got to tell you a funny story just to change the subject just a little bit. Last night we were having lasagna. Barbara got a big, huge frozen lasagna, and she wanted to cut it in half so we could save the other half for later.
Hey, what's this?
So we couldn't get it cut, so we took a butter knife to put it in the middle, and then she took a hammer. I was holding the butter knife, and she had the hammer, and she goes, I won't get you. Boom, 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 to cut it. And she got my finger.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But we successfully did cut the lasagna with a knife. Yeah, he's neat though. And that right there is Dominic, which is Ray and Barbara's little boy. He's a Dominicky. He's my best friend. One of my best friends. I got another one too.
Dominic,
What is that? Are you helping
He's like,
too?
Weatherize!
You wanna help too?
Weatherize! Weatherize your windows! Save money! Or sword fight.
Yeah, sword fight. That's more what you can do. Sword fights.
Sword fight. Sword fight.
So you pretty much got that one done, huh, Ray?
Yep, we pretty much got this one wrapped. I just gotta do got the bottom done, the top done. Now I just gotta get the sides. But obviously the top and bottom are the hardest. That's where you make sure you get it tight, you know. And then from here, you just basically straighten it out, line it up.
And one of the things that's nice is that as you learn how to do this, you know, it does get easier. But if you want to pull wrinkles out, you can always. I often sort of put the top in, put the bottom in, and then sometimes snug up the plastic. Again, you know, you can pull the channel and snag up the plastic and pop it back in. You have a mouthful of teeth. You have a mouthful of teeth.
Yeah, and I like the idea of community, you know, you teach one person and then, you know, that person has the knowledge and can go on and teach somebody else. And
Yep. And we actually, you know, we haven't had anyone participate in this, but we were wanting to do sort of kind of like a round robin affair, a round robin weatherization, where if you have a couple of people who are friends and they want to have their weatherize their house, I can show up at their place at one place in the morning, and the three of us can weatherize the first person's house, and then we move to the second person's house, and we weatherize.
Oh,
So
what a
it's
good
kind of like
idea.
a round robin of weatherization.
that's a good idea. And that's perfect for like people that rent too, you know, that
Yes.
rent. Yeah.
Yes, so Cover's home repair program is only for homeowners who own their own homes, but we do, the weatherization program, we do weatherize rental units as well. People who rent.
Which is nice.
Which is nice. With the permission of landlords.
Yeah.
And of course, landlords probably always apt to agree with them and to allow this to happen because essentially it's saving the landlord a lot of money.
Yeah. Which in turn is saving us money because we can keep our thermostat down, and then the oil price, you won't have to pay so much for oil, which means our rent won't go up.
Right. Well, and a lot of here. Let me help you. There you go.
Oh.
I know that when I was renting, I had to pay for my own fuel, so.
Yeah.
Help. It's okay, right? All right. And so the last piece is then cutting the plastic to size. And like Ray mentioned earlier, in terms of giving yourself a little wiggle room, I normally leave 2 to 3 inches of plastic so that the next time that you are going to put it back up, you have a little bit of wiggle room. If you're going to put this up and there are windows that you don't use at all, you can cut the plastic right up next to the channel, and then it looks a little tidier.
Mm-hmm. Well, that is just so cool, you know.
They work great.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, it doesn't take long to install them.
Nope. Oh. Thank you.
That's what Dominic usually says. Thank you.
And to tell you the truth, this is my second window.
Yes.
So I think, you know, as I say again, I mean, I'm the type of person that learns quickly, but I really believe anybody can do it, you know. And she was saying, you know, it's affordable. Even if you don't have the cover to do this for you, you know, anybody can afford it, I believe.
Yeah, the window kits full retail are, this size window kit full retail is $6. And cover has a sliding scale according to income. And then the larger kit, I think, is 8.
Nice and tight. Sealed.
No more cold air coming through that window.
Okay, well, I want to thank you both for showing us how to do a window. We got other projects in the house we're also going to check out and see how you do that, and you know, we got some holes or whatever, and we I thought it might be interesting if we showed one of the doors you're going to weatherize too.
Yeah. Given that the sun has now gone by, that maybe the front door.
Yeah. But anyway, we're going to just stop.
So these are the weather stripping gaskets that we're going to put on the outside of the door. They come long, and so you need to cut them to length. There are 3 pieces, a piece that goes at the top, and then one on either side of the door. What this does is this is a soft piece of foam that presses against the door, and then air seals it from the outside. And to install them, if you see, there are holes that have already been pre-drilled. So you put them in place, you compress the foam, and then you screw them in place. One of the things you need to be careful is there is a right amount of compression. If you look at the end, you sort of want the foam to be folded over, right, but not squished. What happens if it's put in too far, it makes it hard to close the door, and then doors actually then accidentally end up being left open, which means they leak even a lot more cold air. So I put the top in first, and then I put the 2 sides in. each of the kits come with the screws. These kits are available at the Recover store. So do you have an ability to sort of do a close-up in terms of, can you see what?
Yep, I can see it good now.
One of the things that's really nice, so most doors come with weather stripping, but sometimes, you know, they eventually age, or cats get at them, or if the door is hung just even a little bit out of square, the weather stripping doesn't seal uniformly across the door, which means the door will leak. So what's nice about these kits is that you follow the door, not the framing. So these kits are installed with the door closed, and you want so that you know where the door is actually where the lock set has engaged, so that you are pushing against that. Get a picture of the corner in terms of when you measure for this, you want to make sure that the pieces end up meeting, right? Because if you don't, that ends up being a space for air to come in. Mm-hmm. My phone's ringing. Cut. So I normally put the bottom screw in first because most door thresholds are tapered on the outside so that if rain hits it, rain will fall off. So you want to make sure that the bottom is in where it needs to be, because if you end up accidentally lowering the top a little bit, then the bottom doesn't fit in because it's bumping into that taper. The screw holes are actually elongated, so it allows you a little bit of flexibility to slide that gasket in a little bit or back it off a little bit as well. So when I mentioned earlier where you need to be careful about how much you compress the foam, the place that is actually the most critical is on the side where the door handle is, because that's where the person who's closing the door has the least amount of leverage, door leverage, to compress that foam. So when you install this gasket, there is that sort of magic balance of making sure that the gasket's engaged, but not too much to keep enough to keep the air out, but not so much that it makes the door really difficult to close. When you do install these gaskets, you should know that it usually takes a little bit more to close your door than it did before the gaskets were installed. But it shouldn't be so hard that it's difficult to close them. So I'm using an electric drill because I have one, and it makes this job much easier to do. You probably could put these in by hand, but it would be more difficult. So, Cover's weatherization program will come and weatherize your home. It's based on, a lot of people don't have the kind of equipment that we have. Well, it's not uncommon to have a drill, but if this is something that you feel like you would like to have done with your house and you have with your doors, give us a call. So that's the weather stripping that goes on the outside of a door. The underside of a door is a place that many people are very familiar with their doors leaking a lot of cold air, hence the little long, like cat or dog-like things that people make and they fill with rice to help keep the draft from coming underneath your door. The next piece, so that is called a sweep, and that actually goes on the inside of the door. So we'll be moving to the inside of Linda's house. On the inside of Linda's house, every door is different, but there are similar things on most doors, particularly exterior doors. Most doors are on what's called the threshold, right? The piece on the bottom that sits on the floor, and that's usually elevated. It's higher than the actual floor. And that's done so that when you open a door, it doesn't drag on the floor. And so being able to put a sweep down so that it covers the bottom of the door, but it doesn't end up dragging too much on the floor, we take advantage of that threshold. This threshold in particular is a little bit different, meaning it's where each door is unique, but they're all the same. So it does have a threshold, but this door, probably because of renovations that were done at some point in this house, this isn't the original door. And so it sits a little bit differently on the threshold. But this threshold still is above this floor. So if I'm going to put this down so that the sweep is sitting on top of the threshold, and it'll fold to go over the threshold, but then it'll be clear when it hits the floor. This is also another piece that it comes 36 inches long, and so I measured and cut it to the length of the door earlier. So different doors are easier to put screws into. This is a metal door, and so it's a little bit harder to put them in, but you can, they do work in all metal, fiberglass, or wood doors. It's almost there.
So how many screws do you put in one of those?
So the threshold is, or the sweep is pre-drilled, and so the screws are about once every 6 inches.
I got color ID.
And there we have it. And the sweep is pretty flexible, so it'll bend itself over the threshold of the door, and then seal back up when you close it. Wonder where it's all going. Definitely cold back there.
So that's the... It's kind of like a spongy insulation.
Well, what it ends up being a little like styrofoam.
Oh. So people use this a lot for like underneath sinks and stuff like that.
Well, it's a great gap filler. So it's used to fill holes, you know, like plumbing penetrations, either through the floor or through the walls. There's often an airspace between where a house sits on top of a foundation, which is a great place for it to fill. It's great if you're putting in new windows to insulate around the space around a new window. I'm a little hesitant to do it around your shutoffs and stuff because if you ever need to use your shutoffs, I think the foam might end up be in the way.
Oh, okay.
So, all right. So we are done at Linda Carbonell's house. We've put window kits around her. All the windows, put gaskets around her door. We've sprayed some foam insulation, so hopefully a little less of the cold air from the outside will be coming inside. If you are interested and think that you might need help weatherizing your home, please call Cover Home Repair. The number is 802-296-7241. Again, that's 802-296-7241, and I'm extension 111, and that's Diane Reinhardt. Thank you, and be well.
Some days I can move mountains, and other times I can't get it right. But every mountain that I'm climbing brings me one step closer. Raise my eyes to the morning, looking down a road that seems so rough. But if you ask me, I would tell you I still ain't had enough. Walking through